Cloud. Here we go. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the AMBA YouTube channel. I am Laura Jensen, president of the American Meishan Breeders Association, and I am here with a family that I have been able to work with for 3 years, 2 years.
3 years.
It feels like
Now.
forever. I've loved going on the journey with you guys on the Meishan. So we're here today to talk about another success story of the Meishan in the showroom. We know that it can be an uphill challenge. We know that in general, there's not a class for our pigs yet. And we know that there are some amazing people out there that don't care and do it anyway. So to me, that is Team Booshie. Is that what y'all called yourself? Because I know you're Booshie Meishan. So you're Team Booshie, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, all right. Y'all want to take a second and introduce yourself to everybody?
Sure. My name is Lauren Williamson. I am the mom of these two amazing ladies who embarked on the Bougie Meishan in the show ring. We are three of a family of five who kind of stumbled upon the Meishan a couple years ago and really just fell in love with the breed and fell in love with a lot of what you and the AMBA are doing, Laura, to preserve this breed. So we kind of jumped in to the deep end of the pool, I'll say, not really knowing everything we were doing, but learning along the way and having really great partners in this community. And so I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
I'm Bridget. I showed Roberto in the fair this year, so I found it was a really fun thing, and I fell in love with the breed and just figuring out the genetics for them.
Yep.
I thought it was really cool how we try to keep them pure and all the different stuff that goes into it that you never think would go into it.
Right.
I am Gretchen, and I showed Dolly this year at fair. She was really fun to show. I really like the Meishan breed because I love their babies. They're so cute. They're small. I love their big floppy ears and how sweet they are. They're like big dogs.
Yep, definitely. Yeah. So one of the things that y'all impressed me with is you came to me after some tragedy. I'm just gonna say it. I mean, y'all lost a sow and most of the litter. You had a lot of loss, a lot of death early on, and that's hard, and especially with the kids. But you guys decided to persevere and figure out where you wanted to be. You worked with me and top breeders in the country to bring in the best genetics that Florida has ever had. Now, location wise, I know you're in Jupiter, Florida. That is north of Miami, I believe.
It's north of Miami. It's north of West Palm Beach. So we're yep, and we're in Jupiter Farms. So we have a really unique spot that with some land that's not common in South Florida to have a big chunk of land. We're not huge, but we're big enough to be able to have space for these pigs. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And I've seen parts of the videos where we go back and forth on pedigrees, and you guys figured out how to color code them. Was that right? As far as when you were looking at the genetics of it? I mean, who does that? I love it. So tell me about that. How'd y'all figure that out?
So Mom and Dad gave me these pigs because I liked looking at the genetics. I thought it was very interesting. I'm a very organized person, and I like to color code things and figure out where they go. So I started going through. They started telling me which like pigs we're looking for in our genetics, and I just started highlighting the ones that we needed in different colors and like naming those colors. And I would go through and see which ones had the most of these like pigs, most of these pigs, and tell you like, do we want this one too, like inbred?
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Wow.
Everybody has a little bit of different role in this operation. She's definitely our genetics person. She'll geek out on that, and she enjoys that a lot.
I'm just here for the babies.
Well, to your point, Laura, you said that we experienced some loss, and that was really Gretchen's strength in that time. Was she was our every 3 hour bottle feeding mama.
So hard. So hard.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I had to heat up like little socks for them to lay on so they'd stay warm.
Yep. She was the caretaker.
Yes.
Yeah. That's so critical early on, when you have to do that. Fortunately I haven't had to do that in a while, but if it comes up now, I'm like, what do I do? Because I can't function during the day on 3 hours of sleep. So so yeah. So you guys jumped in again with the genetics. You figured out what you wanted, you brought it into Florida, and then you decided to go to the show next, right? Was this FFA or 4-H or some of both, or what did y'all do?
FFA. I joined my school's FFA program with my agriculture class, and everyone was showing Hampshires and Berkshires, and I thought, well, I don't want to show the Meishan.
No.
Yes, yes. Now, what kind of what did you get back? I mean, so surely early on, when everybody in your class realized that you're bringing these weird pigs to that show, what was the response? What did you get?
Some of them thought they were weird looking. They didn't really like them. Some of them thought they were adorable. It's really the floppy ears for everyone and the scrunchy little
Yeah,
faces.
Yeah.
yeah. Did anybody feel like they didn't have a place there?
A lot of them. Yeah. Some of them
Wow.
say they did not like them, like you would not get a lot of money for them. But then some of them were supportive and they're like, this looks like a pig that you'd get money for.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did they handle? I mean, that's one of the things I always hear is the Meishan's ability in showmanship can outshine some of the other breeds. Did y'all find that to be true too in comparison to other breeds?
Yeah, a little bit. They're more like you're walking them. The other pigs are like their heads up. Our pigs are like sniffing around, like, oh, people, like friends, and they're
Yeah, yeah,
like super sweet. Like the other pigs, they're walking. They have like a certain body build. Our pigs are like just relaxed and
yeah,
super sweet.
I would say too, Laura, that so it's different because they're different, right? People aren't the people there were not really sure what to expect.
yeah,
Us included. I do think, because they're a pasture pig and we've had them in larger areas all throughout their life, we could have stood to have like enclosed a little bit only because they were like, oh, we can run around.
Mhm.
That's not showmanship. That's not. Um,
Yeah,
Thankfully, we didn't have any running all around the pen, but definitely it was a more, they're fast walking, right? Others are not fast walking. So they did great, but we learned that we should definitely kind of, as we get closer to fair in a window of time, kind of shorten down their space a little
okay,
bit just to kind of
yeah,
work on that for next year. But they were really chill like they normally are. They were
yeah.
really chill and relaxed.
Cool. Was this a local, like a county fair, state fair? What type of fair was it?
South Florida Fair.
Yeah, South Florida
South
Fair
Florida.
is a state fair. It's an open fair, so it's anyone from across the state could come. So we met people from the west coast of Florida in a
Oh,
clear opposite side of the state. So people were coming from all over. Different than county fairs, there you have to be a county resident to participate in those. This we didn't have to.
wow. So it was a pretty big fair overall.
There were over 200 pigs. It was
Oh
I we
gosh.
just
140, one of those pigs got sold.
Yeah, we just received the letter from the fair saying that it was one of the most successful auctions they've had in a very,
Wow.
very long time.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
100 people on the beach.
So was this a terminal class for y'all, meaning that going in that you took your pigs in and they got sold at the end, or was it something that you got to bring them back?
We don't
We
know.
don't get them to bring it back. If no one buys your pigs, how much money does the fair give you?
So if no one even purchases your pig, they're like if you'll always have a bidder. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
It's made very clear to us it's a terminal fair. You will not be leaving with your pig.
Mhm.
And that mainly I think is for health purposes, right?
Yeah, biosecurity. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So we did have a small moment of weepy eyes for one who was definitely like, but I think it's normal for the first year. She really loved her pig and it got
Yeah,
real close with her. But we talked a lot about through the whole process. This is your business, and
yeah,
in all honesty, like they were both great, but Dolly was beautiful specimen to show off the Meishan and for the bougie
yeah,
Meishan. So it was great. It was
yeah,
good, but it was a learning for them.
yeah. It's hard. I still have my moments. I still have some, but
Yeah.
whew, yeah, it's tough. So how many classes were you in? Was it just like one each, or both of
We
y'all
were
together?
in 3 classes. So we went there on a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we picked pigs on
Thursday.
Thursday morning. You have weigh-ins, and then that afternoon you have a showmanship where the judge judges you how you present your pig,
Mhm.
and so then the next day you have sort of like a market auction, but it's not an auction. It's where they judge your pig now. So they judge your pig and how they're built, which that was one of our main problems because they don't know how
Yeah,
the pigs breed. They want
yeah,
them to be what we both got as our like what was it?
Critiques.
Were they need more bone and a bigger rump. I was like, well, that's not how they're built. They all don't have big rumps.
You are correct. Yes.
And so
Yeah.
like when our pigs would walk next to others, the other pigs' butts were like this big, and then my pig's butt's like this big. And I was
Yeah.
like I'm getting in there, and I was walking around, and one of the guys on the side, he goes, "Yeah, I had to send a video of what the pig was to the judge because last night he didn't know what it was when you walked
The
in."
judge didn't even know about the Meishan.
No.
Wow.
And I had high hopes, Laura, when he told us he was from Illinois, and I was like, "Ooh, this
Yeah,
might
maybe
be
he knows. Yeah.
maybe he knows." No.
Yeah, because the
No.
guy was like, "Yeah, I had to send a video about what your pig was," and I was like, "Dang, he didn't even know."
Wow. Interesting. But I guess one more place we've educated people, word's out, I feel like across the country, but I guess there's still pockets. All right. So you did showmanship and you were in there with all the other big breeds, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next night you had the auction where everyone actually bid on your pig.
Okay, cool. And how did y'all do there?
In the bidding,
Yes, yeah, the auction.
You can talk about it.
we were it goes by the way the auction goes is it goes by your placing when they
Yeah.
judge your pig. So if you got like the top place and like you got first place, you're the first one to go out.
Oh,
But
okay.
because
Okay.
they didn't know our pig, we had to go second to last.
Wow.
She was 190, I was 192, and then my friend was right behind me. So she was literally the last
Yeah.
person.
It was
Wow.
so it was a long night. It's
Yeah.
one of the but the learning for kids and for this type of auction is if you don't do your job marketing yourself and your through your buyer's letters, no one's staying just to bid on this. So by the end of the night, it's a lighter room, but they did a really great job sending out their buyer's letters to local businesses and local families, and those people stayed, and so we were really fortunate with that.
And
That's
they gave you,
interesting.
before the auction, they give you like time to go in and talk to your buyers and
Yes,
introduce your other buyers that are there
Huh.
and the buyers that you have. They give you time to introduce yourself. We gave them a taste of what the Meishan was, and then we gave them our letters.
literally a taste of what the
I was
Meishan
gonna
was.
say, wait, how do you do that?
Thank you so much for those, Laura. It was a game changer to be able to walk around, and they did an amazing job introducing themselves
Split and
and
conquer.
yeah, yeah, they did an amazing job of introducing themselves, sharing a lot about the breed, providing from the class that Lance and I took with you last year, we had photos from the butcher shop, and
Yeah.
in their letters they were showing pictures of the meat so that people really have a better understanding of what they would be buying. And then they had the samples. So the samples, I think, tipped a few people over the edge, and a lot of people gave them compliments of like, I had no idea about this, so thank you so much. When one of them came out, there was a table of gentlemen who all slid over, pulled out their buyer's letters, and were like, "These are these pigs, these pigs."
Oh, wow. Wow. How
it was
nice to
good.
be at the end of the night and then still have that happen. My
Exactly.
goodness. Y'all, what I did is I needed to send them paperwork. So I did, and of course UPS didn't do us right. But anyhow, we still got everything done, and y'all got where you needed to be. But I'm like, there's 5 of y'all. I need to send y'all some charcuterie because you don't have to refrigerate it. You'll be at the fair and you can snack on it. And then you beautiful people turned it into marketing.
One guy did take a picture of your thing.
Oh, yeah.
So if you do get like a message, there's one guy that came
He took a picture of
and
you.
he asked if we had a website. I said I haven't built it yet, but he did take a picture of your thing. So then
He might be
Wow.
calling you for some Meishan charcuterie.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. We just busted our first federal ham, and it's going to Rebecca Thompson that I know you bought stock from. So that's exciting. Things are really starting to move forward with the breed and
That's
the
great.
pig. So wow, I didn't realize that about the timing of the sale, that it was in order and that you had to go market like that. So I'm not surprised that y'all knocked it out of the park. I mean,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, what else was it? What was it like to be there in the middle of the show?
It was a little stressful at first, but then as soon as you get used to it, you go in. You're mostly focused on your hog. Like
Uh-huh.
when you have showmanship, everything's supposed to be focused on the judge. But when you go in there for auction time, you're mostly focused on the hog and you
Okay.
zone everyone out. Is that it?
Mhm.
Zone everyone out.
Yeah.
And then it just gets simpler. And then you gotta go to a different area where you take pictures with your buyer. And you thank them for buying your pig.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like
Wow.
when we were in the show for showmanship, like the first night that we got there, like it was our first time. So I was like freaking out. I was like all stressed and stuff. And then my friend Sammy, his dad was like, "This one doesn't really count. It's just to show the judge like what your pig is." And then the next night it kind of counts, but not really. It's just he's judging your pig and how like big and how good the meat is.
Yeah.
And I would, as from a parent side, Laura, like it's such an invaluable, like it's a lesson that they'll never forget, right? Like you see your
Yeah.
kids, and we all try to protect them, and like, okay, you want to like do all the right things, but and you're giving them small cues, but watching them kind of like rise to the occasion and deal with the nerves. Nobody was like, I'm not going in there, right? It's an option. Like we got to do this. Like work through your nerves, work through the pig. You're freaking the pig out with your nerves. Don't do that.
Right.
Like listening to, there were some small criticisms from people that, you know, that, but not a lot. I think I was prepared to hear strong, you know, dislikes of the breed. We didn't hear that. We heard a little bit of that where it was more so, don't you think they're ugly? I said, no, I really don't, but they're mine. So
And then the one guy at the wash station, he came up and goes, "Oh my God,
oh
is
yeah,
that big? I thought they were like unicorns."
that's true.
Not anymore.
He did. And he ran around to go get his phone so that he could go show everybody because he didn't think they existed.
And then when we were
Wow.
back to go back to our pens, he was like, "Guys," because he was in his little group. He was like, "Guys, look, that's the Meishan pig."
Yep. It was
Wow,
great
that
to
had to be
see some
neat.
people knew it. It was great.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, what was it like? They described it, but I think it's the best experience for your kids to be able to do it no matter where you are. The lessons they've learned will serve them forever. So
Yeah.
they're hooked. They said they're in for next year. And then our little guy, who my son who's 11, he's hooked too. He came back. Okay, I'm gonna show my own pig too. So
Nice.
he's into. So we'll
Yeah.
have 3 Meishans at the fair. And a few
Um,
people, a lot of parents came by and said they were so happy to see something different. Like they,
Like the one kid, his
They were-
dad was like, "I want my kid to show this
Yeah.
hog because I'm tired of the other hog."
he's like, I'm sick of seeing
Yeah.
the same thing and I want to see something different.
did you find out how many pigs makes a class? Like, what would it take to get your own class at fair?
No, we have to look into that, and if that's something, there is a Florida like show circuit, and I do know that in that circuit there is another class, like there's a separate class. I would have to see but in this particular fair, I don't believe there is a separate class.
Yeah. Okay. Every state, every fair, every show is different from what I've
Right.
found and what their criteria is, from weights to date of birth, things of that nature. And like my state show here in Georgia, the year we were ready to push into the Meishan would need, I think it was like 7 for a class. They changed it to 14. And that means if it's 14, you really need 16 or so. What if a pig gets sick and things like that?
Right.
So anyhow, I think we'll get there. I think that Meishan classes are coming. Well, and our friend Mariel Forensic has already done it in Pennsylvania, and I
Right.
think others will come from there. Wow. So what did you go in expecting, I guess, to happen? And then what happened? I mean, what was kind of each of y'all's overall point of view on what you thought and where you are today with it?
I thought we were gonna go in and then like everybody's gonna be like, "Wow, that pig's really ugly," and then I get into the like auction arena and I thought like nobody was gonna bid on her, and then like I'm walking around and then like people start bidding, and I was like, "Oh yeah, here we go." But yeah,
Nice.
and like I just expected people to be like, "That's just a weird pig," like I don't
Yeah.
want the pig.
Yeah.
I
I'm sure
expected-
some did.
I expect to just be really quiet, just like crickets and me walking my pig around silently.
That feels so.
But then once you get there, there's people there allows you to walk in the back, buyers, and they would go and look at your pig and they're like, oh, there's some hope that someone might buy my pig. So
Yeah.
then you just kind of calm down and you go in there just like, okay, if no one buys my pig, at least I have my pig and I'll walk out in style.
Wow.
Because these matching shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were great shirts, by the way. I loved them.
Thank you.
They are on, isn't it Bougie Meishan on Facebook and probably Insta, if I had to guess? Is
For
that
sure on
where people can go see
Instagram.
them? Yeah.
Instagram
they're-
and YouTube. Yep.
Yeah. So when, give me just a second. When you guys started, you started with Wendy, and Wendy and I would talk about this at this moment.
Aw.
And we would say, man, we just need kids in a family that get it, that it's not about winning with the status quo. It's about believing in something, sorry, and having the courage to go out there anyway. And I just think that y'all are, there's a few families out there. I'm not saying it was just y'all, because I know we have a lot of great people, but this just embodies that to me. And just thank you guys for being willing to do that. I mean, it's just yeah. I mean, I know that a lot of people just want to win, and that there's a place for that too. But to step out and do what your family did is truly amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I think to add to what you said, Laura, like and feeling that while you're there, right? Like I said, you're a parent, you have kids, they're showing something totally different. You're worried about what people are gonna say, how they're gonna make them feel. It was hilarious to, like I say, hilarious. It was hilarious to listen to both of them walk out of the ring during showmanship and just be really ticked off that the judge had no idea. And that's just ridiculous. How does he not know? And I am chuckling because I'm like,
judge.
okay, they're not like emotionally upset about it. They're more like fired up about it. And to the point,
we're making brochures next year to give to the judge.
to the point that this
That's what I was gonna say. I know y'all can do that. We'll get the breed description and send it to them ahead of time.
well, this one comes out
for it to
standing
come out.
there waiting, going, when do you think he's going to be done? Because I need to ask him what does he need to understand about this pig? And I'm like, I don't know that that's going to win you what you need in this moment, kid. But it was so fun to watch because they were both like, this is just unacceptable. Like, and yep, it is. Yep, go do something about it. Go do something about it.
That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Just wow. So these are the reasons why I wanted to do this. I just wanted to share your story. I wanted others to be inspired by you, because there's no way you can't be. I mean, the cards were stacked against you. The judge didn't even know your pig. And to come out with your head held high and say, we're going to make this better next year and we're going to keep growing. I mean, well done, Mom and Dad. And just
thank you.
Y'all are amazing people.
Thank you very much.
All around. You've gone from total crisis and devastation to making a pathway for an endangered breed. So very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
We're
welcome.
excited. We're gonna have another litter coming on here in just a month. So start working with the next round for the following year.
Yeah. Well, okay, you marketing experts, tell people where to find you so they can get these pigs.
Sure. So the Bougie Meishan is definitely on Instagram. So, and Bougie, they spelled Booshie. Everybody has a little bit different twist at that. We're working on our website, so hopefully that'll be finished here soon and we'll be connected in that way. But definitely Instagram, and then the breeder locator is for sure. We just moved along 2 pigs from the last litter, and it was all through the breeder locator. So that's working, Laura.
We also have YouTube.
Oh yeah,
you guys are on YouTube.
You guys are pretty active. That's their side of the world.
I love your videos. Don't stop.
Thank you.
I do. I love them, and I love that it's from y'all's perspective. I mean, we're kind of the old people, aren't
exactly.
To see y'all do it too. It's just really refreshing. So, okay. And as far as genetics, do you want to talk about that? Because I know you're unique in the state of Florida and what you have.
Sure. So our thought process with our program, our breeding program, was truly needing something very different here in the state. We saw some overlap in our fellow breeders, and we just weren't interested in doing that. So we imported our boar from Vermont area, and then have a great relationship, continued relationship with Rebecca out in Oregon, and imported some ladies from out there. So
Yeah.
Shirley and Temple, which, yes, it's purposefully put that way to be Shirley Temple.
That's what I wrote on my project story.
Yep, Shirley and Temple. My kids like Shirley Temples. But their second litter will be coming on here in March, the beginning of March. And then we're gonna be working with you on a few fun things and get some new genetics in here, start getting onto the next. This one's over here going like that.
Yes. Yes. Can't wait for that. So yeah, you got a gilt here, Meishan Preservation Gilt. I have met you in person, Lauren. Have not met you ladies, and I cannot wait. The whole family's coming, right? I get to meet you guys
Yes.
next month. Fantastic. Yeah, so
Next
we're gonna
month?
make whatever arrangements.
Oh, heck yes.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that.
Yep, next month we're gonna go pick up a new pig.
Yeah, yeah. So so yeah, y'all have been very committed to putting something in Florida that hasn't been there to date since the association has started. And I think it's making a difference. You know, there's like one genetic line down there that seems to be so.
We feel really strongly it's important for the continuation of this breed, right? And we've talked about it a lot, Laura, over the years. You know, everybody might be looking for something a little bit different. We really love the squishy face and some big ears.
Elephants.
Big, yeah, elephants or Eeyore, like a rotund little. And our girl Shirley is definitely that. She is a roly poly, and we love it. But you know, we're bringing in new genetics here to the farm. We'll see what it produces. You know, what looks different, but we're excited to see the next generation of it.
Yeah, yeah. We've done a lot of the hard work on genetics, and now we get to enjoy where we want to go next and things like that. So yeah, absolutely.
And actually, speaking of genetics, I think I told you this, but so Bridget is in an environmental sciences program in her high school, and that is the genetic side, and the grow out side is her school project that she's going to work on for the next 4 years.
That's like no small project. I mean, that's huge.
No, it was great too. You know, it's really how this type of business kind of takes full circle, and your kids start to commingle it into all parts of their life. But in her environmental sciences program, they're expected to pick a 4-year project. So something they work on for the 4 years of high school that they're in this academy. And she came home and was like, I think I'm going to use our Meishans. Okay, sure. So you want to explain it a little bit of what you're going to do?
Yeah. So the project I heard everyone was doing, so it's an environmental project. Mostly they work on invasive trees or fish or anything like that. Well, I don't like fish. Fish is boring, and I don't want to stare at trees all day. So I was like, the Meishan looks cool, and I went on y'all's page and I saw they did studies on Meishans. I was like, ooh, what ideas can I get off of this? And what is one of the problems? And then Dad and Mom came home one day and they were like, we just had Jimmy Dean come back and it's mostly fat. And I was like, I wonder what percentage of...
It wasn't mostly fat. He has a fat cap, right? Yeah. So he has which is not what you see in your pork chop that you have from the store.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I wonder what percentage of proteins and fibers is like what will make a difference in your fat caps.
Yeah.
And so I just doing a little tweaking recently.
We have to change the project a little bit.
We gotta change it a little bit because they brought up fermentation.
Yes, fermenting the food.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
So I wanted to see just like how that would change, like compared to if I fed the same amount of protein and fibers for both fermented and not, how that would change their amount of fat cap that you'd find.
So the environmental sciences teachers don't particularly love that at the end it means you have to butcher
Process your pig. Yeah.
yes, a pig, but for the
Aren't they
the purpose
vegan?
of science, we will sacrifice, and our freezers will sacrifice.
Yes, exactly. And your dinner plate and your breakfast plate. Anyhow. So be sure and listen to no, it's not YouTube. It's the new AMBA podcast that releases this coming Tuesday. Jonathan and I talked to Dr. Rothschild for an hour, and it's about breeding, and it's the basics of breeding, but he even goes further in how to set up your tracking, I guess your means of tracking whatever you want. And his suggestion is it really is literally, you didn't necessarily like how Jimmy Dean produced something, but did another hog produce something that you like, and this was more marbled, and that's kind of where we are with selection, that there's no other way to do it right now. So I find it really interesting that you're doing this as a project when we're talking about it as a breed in the US, and how do we improve it, and how do we go to the next step. So be sure to listen to that. And if I can help you with any of it, let me know. But yeah, fermenting is a great thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love a good fat cap on my food, but they but they don't. And eventually she might want to start selling meat to chefs around here. So I was like, well, not everyone likes fat on their food, so what can I possibly do to help us in the future? Not only for science, but also for my family.
Yeah, like listen to that, and maybe we should talk more about the different things that I've seen that make a difference, but it's suggested that it's where it is in the litter. We know that at some grow out points we've seen different fats, but then it goes back to the lineage where, and I never thought about that. You know, I should have maybe kept better records, but things move fast. So yeah, that's a really cool project that you can add to. I think you can share with other members as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, y'all, I am so grateful. I've really enjoyed y'all taking time out on your weeknight to talk to me. Is there anything else that I've missed, or anything else you want to share?
The Meishan's amazing.
All these people for sure know it, but they can hear it again. They can hear it
Yeah.
again. No, thank you
Cool.
so much for all of your support, Laura. Truly, yours and the whole community. I've heard more people that I have met that have called inquiring about the Meishan, and we spend the time to share it because it's a breed that is important to all of us and that we really enjoy. And every person has said, "Oh my gosh, like thank you so much that you've taken this time." And I said, "Well, I'm just paying forward kind of what I've gotten from others." So it's been a great
Perfect.
community of people, and we appreciate all that you do for us. So thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome. It's been an honor, one of the great works of my life, to be able to do this and work with folks like y'all. And we do have a ton of amazing people that are a part of this, for sure. So, all right. Well, I'm going to sign off for today. I have a feeling we'll be back talking about something else, like maybe the senior project and where it all led and things like that. But again, thank you for coming. You guys, thank you for watching and listening, and we will see you next time. And until then, have a great night. Bye.
Bye.